Hello, everybody. We're live. Welcome. It's Live with Georgia on Saturday night. YouTube. We are offering tarot, $10 a question. 100% of the proceeds goes to Friends of Creacon program. Hello. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties, and plus I was a little bit late. Forgive me. Here we are. I always think that I'm just in on time, and there always something happens. Who knows? It doesn't matter. We're here together now. Hello. I have some great news. This is now the last 3 weeks. So tonight's show is the third last show forever on YouTube. And so if you're here, we are going to review the pages and the nights in the tarot deck. And I didn't do it last week because we just got busy talking questions and answering wonderful questions that people paid for. And that money, as you know, 100% is going to be donated to the Friends of Creacon program, which is a program that nurtures you and gives back to you. So everyone who has made the exchange, their name, Jennifer, hello. Ali, hello. How are you? Thanks for texting me, Jen. I'm almost not conscious of the time. Once I start to kind of hone in and try to get everything going by 6, I don't know if it's 5 to 6 or 5 after 6, but that's what's happened today. Sorry about that, and thank you for texting me. I have some wonderful news. I just sent out an email, so it's literally in your inboxes now for those of you who are signed up for my letter. For the next 3 weeks, on Facebook, I'm going to go live doing exactly what I do here, but on Facebook. So tell all your friends, and it's going to be every Wednesday at 10 a.m. For an hour, and I will be doing exactly the same thing. It'll be $10 a question, and I will be sending that money to India. And there is a group of people who had been receiving charitable money from the SQ Foundation, which is a foundation that was started by Derek O'Neill and his wife Linda O'Neill many, many years ago, which had to close last year. Was it the year before, 2019? And since that time, they'd been doing okay, except that since the second wave of COVID hit India, they haven't been able to make a living. So there's a large group of people who have no money to survive on and are literally living off our charity. And so I'm going to send 100% of the proceeds of my shows on Facebook for the next 3 weeks. So meet me on Facebook if you want. Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. This is a different time slot, so I hope you can make it. And if not, please let your friends know who might be able to make it at that time slot and who would be interested in contributing their money to the people in need in India. And this is a small group, but it's a very important group, right? So everyone in need is important. And so I hope I can see you there. Irina, hello. So basically in about 4 or 5 days' time, so the first one will be Wednesday the 12th, I think, at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I'll be on Facebook doing the same thing with more laughter. And so tonight it's the nights and the pages. Is that fun? It is super fun. I'm going to pull the pages out. Now, everybody here, maybe Ali, I don't know. Ali, have we chatted about how much tarot you know or how much you want to know? And are you learning? And do you have a deck? Jennifer, I know, has a deck, and Irina has a deck. Pull out your nights and your pages, and I want us to talk about them. And in fact, I would love to hear about your experience using the tarot and what the knights and the pages mean to you. Why not? We got the Knight of Pentacles, one of our all-time faves, Knight of Wands, that guy, oh, that girl. They're all wearing dresses. In the traditional Rider-Waite, you have figures wearing dresses. Now, some of them have long hair, some of them have short hair, some of them have mid-range hair. You never quite know because, the beauty of this is, and I know that, it was made back 130 years ago, 120 years ago. Ali, I have a deck, but I gave up. You find it so confusing. Well, I tell you what, hopefully one day I'll be able to shorten some of the videos down and produce like maybe one big video that just goes through all of the cards, and it'll be excerpts from these lives where, you know, someone who wants to learn the tarot or just sort of flip through the deck while they're listening to me go on and on about it, would be able to watch a video and have a look at the cards and have a look at their deck. But that's what I'm thinking about. And there are certainly loads of tarot channels on YouTube. And if you become a member of the group Tarot Nerds, it's a private group, but it's a huge group. So there's like 40,000 people. I've got too much light here. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's better. There was a very bright light on my face. There's like 40,000 people in this group on Facebook. And at any time of the day, if you decided you wanted to offer yourself up to do some practice readings, you just put up a post and you'll have at least, 5 people want to exchange a reading with you. So if you're learning to read the tarot and you want to read for strangers, people that you've never met, it's a really good way to practice. And in that group, you can search for, a lot of people often say, hey, this person on YouTube is my favorite. Why don't you go here? Or someone will ask the question, who's your latest favorite YouTuber? And so there's a lot of resources, basically. So if you're interested in learning the tarot and digging deeper, join Tarot Nerds. You will learn a lot just going through some of their posts where tons of people add their opinion. You'll certainly see a lot of decks, a lot of suggestions on Kickstarter if you love collecting decks. So far, Jennifer Anderson, yes, please do. And your class 2, your teaching and videos rule. Oh, thanks, Jen. Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to. I did actually find a video editor. And it was someone that Susie suggested that she uses. So now that I have all the videos, I'm just going to send them all to her. Or even just send her to the channel and then she can download them and work on them herself. But that's what I was thinking. Because it would be... Have I found them all? I haven't found them all. I've only got a few cards. Well, let's start with the pages. We have 3 pages. We're missing the Page of Swords. Where is he? Now, you all know the Page of Swords. It's that wonderful character who's sitting or standing in a very windy, there he is, landscape. Here he is. See? I found him. So we'll start with the pages in general are the sort of youngest of the crop. We've got the pages, the knights, the queens, and the kings. And the queens and the kings are the ones that are the more experienced. The queens hold the sort of feminine principle. The kings hold the masculine principle of the particular suit. So you have 4 court cards in each of the suits. And most people start with the wands, and we'll do that tonight. So the Page of Wands is this young chap, and you can see they're all quite young, right? So they're all sort of dressed, they look young, they're dressed sort of young and colorful and quite happy. And what the pages represent is, in a sense, in the same way that you would think about young children and teenagers, that's what they represent. They represent children, they represent youth, they represent a sense of, their whole journey and whole life is ahead of them. They're at the beginning, so it could represent a new beginning, a new venture, a sort of youthful venture. Definitely could represent children. So if you have a lot of pages, sometimes in readings with people who have children, pages will turn up and I'll just happen to mention, hey, do you have a boy or a girl? Because I'm getting that a page has shown up. Is there any concern around the boy or girl, or have you been talking? Rebecca, hello. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you. Ali, you made a donation. You have a question? Oh, absolutely. So, Ali, would it be all right if I spoke about the pages and then got right to your question? Because last night, oh, wait, I am doing questions today. No, this is really wonderful. Of course. I appreciate, absolutely. I am here to serve you and to answer questions and to, create the wonderful pay it forward system that we have, where we send our $10 off to friends of Creacon, we help Creacon, and we help you. Absolutely. So I just thought I'd run through the pages first. Would that be all right? That's no problem. Wonderful. Thank you. I didn't want to move ahead. But so you see that the pages, and I'm kind of going to talk about them as a group. Actually, hang on, I'll just get the door because I just noticed a pimple on my chin. There's no makeup today, friends. It's just the way it is. Some days it's just raw. You get the real me. So the page of wands represents the page or youthful energy of wands, and the wands is a fire energy. And this fire energy, remember, is action and passion. And so here's a young gentleman or a young figure who's very well dressed. Looks like this figure is dressed for the part. Not quite sure if he has anywhere to go, he or she, but they're ready, absolutely ready, right at the gate. Can't wait to get going. So you can see the enthusiasm, the way that they're holding the wand, admiring the wand, kind of admire. You can imagine this person was getting ready in the mirror and looking at themselves and being quite proud of the way that they're looking. And what you'll notice with the wands court cards is that they all have these salamanders on their dress or their. Lois, hi. Sketchy service, but joining. Oh, I appreciate your energy, Lois. Thank you so much. So you see the salamanders representing, again, the same, fire and passion. And most of the wands are represented because they are in the astrological fire signs. They'll represent Sagittarius, represented by Sagittarius, Leo. As we get to the Queen and King, you'll see the lions and the Leo coming up. And you see this very dry, hot desert landscape in the background. So whenever I see this background, particularly because of the pyramids, right? I mean, these look like they could just be piles of sand that have been swept into this configuration, or they represent the pyramids in Egypt, which are highly sacred and much revered all around the world, right? This is one of the 7 wonders of the world. And so, and here potentially he's wearing a glove, he's got a feather in his cap, or her cap. So the page, like all the pages, represent youthful energy, new beginnings, new adventures. And here, this page, if they turned up, they would represent any one of those things. And in many ways, it, like the Ace of Wands, would represent like a yes, like a validation. There's a very clear sky around here. There are no obstacles. This young page is ready to go off on their new adventure and do whatever needs to be done. Now, are they experienced? No, they really have no experience, but we know that they're eager and willing to go, right? So there's that energy. So if it's not that it represents a real person, it represents the energy of a project or the energy of a idea or action or whatever it is that you're doing. Next, we come to the Page of Swords, right? So here we have a page who has a lot of clouds around him. And remember, the swords represent the air element and intellect and intuition. And so here you have someone whose body is moving in one direction and also in the other direction. And so here this person appears to be in two minds. The landscape is really quite wavy and unstable. The mountains are in the background. Interestingly, there are 3 mountains here. Isn't that interesting? So there were 3 here and 3 here. So both of these pages know and understand the power of manifestation, right? The power of the 3 and the power of the 3. But do they really know how to go? Do they really know what to do? Have they put their knowledge into practice to create wisdom? Well, we know that they haven't, right? Not until we get to the kings and queens do we believe, okay, so here we see someone who has the wisdom attached to some of this energy. And the birds that are flying around the Page of Swords head indicate messages. Maybe they're not coming in. We're not quite sure if there's some confusion with the cloud. The clouds can represent confusion, or some kind of veil, right? Preventing one from seeing the truth. The swords represent the truth. And so, again, so you've got this sense of the Page of Swords with that inexperience. What is this page thinking about? Do they certainly have the passion. They've got the red boots. Shannon, hello. Hi, everyone. I hope you have your cards out, and I hope you're joining me having a look at the Page of Swords, everyone. What do you think, Jen? How have you been reading Arena? Let me know. Let me know. How has the page come up and meant anything else? You see the trees in the background that are bent in the direction of the wind is blowing, right? So these are, there's a lot of movement. So when you see movement in a card, particularly in this card, but if this card was attached to, say, the Chariot or one of the Knight cards, then you would start to think about movement. If this card was connecting with, let's say, the Seven of Cups, where you have a big cloud covering the cups and all of these different choices to be made, you'd wonder if this person was confused and disoriented, right? Because which way are they going? Don't know which way they're going. So you can pick elements of the card, and if there's another card next to it, you can see an amplification of a particular energy. We've got the Page of Cups. Again, this youthful, playful, fun. Now, the Page of Cups is traditionally the actor's card. So here is someone who's very well dressed, has these beautiful lilies, right, growing on his dress, right? Very well dressed. All of these, except for maybe the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is very plainly dressed, but the Page of Cups and the Page of Wands, I mean, they're very well dressed. I don't think I ever dressed like that as a teenager. Maybe at my formal. And you see this little fish coming out, and the fish representing Pisces. And, of course, the cups are the water signs. And you have this little gem at the top indicating connection to the third eye. But again, a sense of inexperience, a sense of, this is me acting. You know that saying that is fake it till you make it. This is the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is going to fake it till he makes it. It's like, is the fish coming up? Is this a magic act? Is everything going to work out? We're not quite sure, right? We don't have that assurance. The water at the back tells another story. It's very wavy. So it depends on what you focus on, what brings out. So the cup, remember, is emotions and sustenance, nurturing. Would this person nurture you, or would you feel nurtured necessarily by this person? They might be more interested in themselves and having a good time than nurturing you if you needed it. Now here we have the almost the opposite of that experience, right? So now we have the Page of Pentacles, who's just as young and inexperienced and youthful and kind of at the beginning of their journey as all the others. But we have a sense of difference. Here we have the page looking at the pentacle, and really there's a feeling of nurturing here. And they're standing on the ground, very grounded sense here. Hi, Mary. You did. You know what? I got your emails and I thought I responded back to you. No trouble. Yes, you did. So I think the link may have been broken, or the way that I posted the link. And if I get a moment, Karina, hello. Oh, what a wonderful group we have. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I will post the link to Tarot Nerds here, and then that will make it easy, right? So I'm attached to their group, and it's actually very easy for me. Here it is, Tarot Nerds. Let me know if this link works. So I'm going to post it right here. There it is, facebook.com/groups/Tarot Nerds. And you have to answer some questions, but I don't think that there's absolutely no obstacles to you becoming a member. They're pretty quick and they get round to it within a day or so. So, Mary, I've put the link down here for you. Amy, you're up. It's late. Thank you so much for joining in. I'll get your card, absolutely. We're talking about the pages. We're almost on the last one here. And then I've got Ali with a question, and then I'll come to you, Amy. So here you have the Page of Pentacles. There's a group of trees here, right? Like a little forest. Now, what do we know about forests? Forests are abundant in sort of natural, so for example, when the land has lost its forest, it loses the ecosystem changes, so much so that the weather is affected, right? But what you have in the Pentacles picture is a sense of abundance. So you have these trees that are grouped together as a forest, so you know that there's a rich ecosystem in this forest. There would be animals that the trees are supporting the air, and that there's a natural cycle that's supporting the water, and there's a fullness that happens in all of this. Looks like a patch of earth that has been turned over for vegetable growth. There's a mountain in the background, the promise of this wisdom. There's growth, new growth. There are flowers in the grass. And so this is a very rich, and the pentacles are the culmination of all the other suits. Remember, there's the 5 pointed star for all of the elements, right? We've got the fire, air, water, earth, and ether as the 5th element. You're wide awake. Oh, I miss you too, Amy. It's been too long. And it's also very colorful, right? And a very clear sky behind, connected to the divine energy with this yellow color. So let's see if I got it. Here we go. And look at the way he's looking at the pen. So you feel you'll be nurtured here, even though this figure won't really do as well as, say, the Knight of Pentacles ahead of him, or the Queen or the King. That he'll try his best. And if you were to put them all together, each one has their worth, right? Each one has their worth. And you could certainly train these pages to do what they do because of their intention and eagerness to be where they are, right? They're holding their suit, and they're interested, and they're curious. And again, they can represent children, but as an energy, it's a really good energy. The pages are always represent very upbeat, exciting energy whenever they come up. So I'm going to put them back in, and then I'll pull the Knights out later. So Ali has a question. Here we go. Ali, thank you so much for being so patient and letting me talk about the pages, because last week we didn't get to talk about them, and I was feeling a little sad about that, but not really sad, because we got to send more money to Friends of Creacon, and that's for all of you, right? And for me too. I feel good doing it. So Ali's question is, here we go. Hold on. Close the door a little more. Now I feel we have total privacy. The cards are being shuffled. I hope everyone's well. Let me know if you've got any interesting things going on with you. I thought maybe I could bring on all the special guests that I've had. I might invite them for the May 29th get-together. If you think it's a good idea, maybe we could just bring everyone on, and we could just do free readings for the night if they felt like it, right? So we could have an hour and a half together, and it would just be a free-for-all, right? I'd have fun. Everyone who'd turn up would have fun. And I always forget to mention that, my disclaimer is that I'm, this is for entertainment purposes only, that I'm reading the cards and teaching the cards, teaching you how to read the cards for your own enjoyment, and for your own, I want to say, enlightenment, just to kind of get deeper into our own psyche. And if we get to learn stuff and then share it with others, well, that's like a bonus, right? That's the cream on the cake. But the first and foremost is just like having fun with this tool, which is all about a deeper look into our psychology, our spirituality. And, in the meantime, they have this huge history of being used, in ways such as predicting the future. Do they predict the future? I don't know, right? I don't know. Do they deepen your understanding of what's happening now? Absolutely. They absolutely do. right? And how do they do that? They do that through you, the reader, who's tapping in through all of their inner senses. Okay, and sometimes it's hard to tap in on your own, so you get someone else to do it for you. And that's what we're doing here. We're helping each other tap in. And you know, you are your own best guru. If what you're hearing doesn't resonate, then you don't go with it. Absolutely not. And you go with what is in your gut. And I'm super serious about that, because that's what I do in readings. When I have readings with other people, I go with my gut. If it feels good, I go with it. So, Ali, is Kay interested in me? Like, do they see me as a friend or romantic interest? Okay, let's have a look. Oops. Oh, some almost spilt out, but not quite. Just going to take 3 deep breaths. For Ali and Kay. Ali and Kay. Is Kay interested in me? So this is you, Ali, right? Full of love, overflowing. This is Kay, who appears to be in a... Now, remember the Temperance? If you've followed along and you've been coming to the major arcana, Temperance is always like, you know, where you've hit a plateau and you've just kind of put the brakes on a little bit, and you're saying to yourself, well, I'm just going to spend some time kind of not necessarily licking my wounds, but that's the healing card, the star card. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slow down and I'm just going to wait and see. So his energy, or Kay's energy, or their energy, I'm not sure if it's a he or a she, but their energy, Kay's energy, is a lot quieter than yours, right? So yours is very heart-centered, overflowing, ready to go. And what's good, right, is that you're seeing 2 cups, one flowing to the other. So I feel that there is an exchange, right, between you and Kay, right? Or else we wouldn't have this water flowing between you. So this Kay isn't someone who's out there, you know, just like a figment, or just like somebody that you haven't had contact with. I feel that you've had contact with this person, and that there is some history between you in terms of connecting and meeting up and having conversations and sharing emotion, you know, being emotional with one another, and sharing, you know, physically being together, right? So there's a sense that there is a sense of, you know, being in one another's presence. So I don't get the sense that this is just an internet connection, although you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I do get the sense that you have shared exchanges. Here we go. The link to pay says, Lois, sure. Let me see. Hey, Rebecca, hello. Lauren Fox is laughing at me. Hi, Lauren. How are you? I didn't see you. I haven't scrolled down. Oh, Amy, I'm so sorry to hear that. I will definitely answer your question right now. So the link to pay is right here. It should be in the description, but if you can't see the description, the best place for me is my website, or you can use the Venmo handle, right? I think it's at Georgia-Marantos. Georgia, there's a picture of me looking like a mafia boss. All right, that's that one. And then there's PayPal, which is my email, Georgia-Marantos at gmail.com. All right. That one's PayPal, so my email, right? So that's him, or Kay. That's Kay, right? So this is you, this is Kay. Now, you asked a question, and I always like to use that as the foundation, because that, when you're looking at a relationship, or you're looking at a potential relationship, you want to have a look at where the 2 people are at. So, is Kay interested in me? Now, we're going to talk about the nights. And had we talked about them earlier, you would know of all the nights And this is the only one who is gushing, rushing to wherever his mind is telling him to go. Is Kay interested in me? I have to say yes. Anybody would have to say yes. Now, you're looking at this card in response to this question, right? So, he's rushing so much, he may not even be thinking straight, but this has to be a yes. Though there's a lot of wind, a lot of thought, and a lot of energy behind it. So the answer is yes there. Now, is he thinking about you? Now, you want to know whether it's romantically, right? Does he see me as a friend? So is Kay interested in me? Yes. In order to see if Kay is interested in you as a friend or as romantic, I'm going to split and do a comparison spread. So this is where I look at two cards separately. Is Kay interested in me as a friend? Is Kay interested in me romantically? All right. So now, this is what has come up. A friend romantically. Now, does he think about me? Is he interested in me? Yes. So at the moment, it looks like Kay is interested in you as a friend, because there's a sense of, completeness, happiness. There's the rainbow. This is a yes card. If there were two tens, then I would think it was a no. But there's 1 10 and their kind of arms are open. So I'm thinking this is a yes. And remember, we're comparing, is Kay interested in you as a friend or romantically? Now, when we look romantically, it's not a very positive feeling card, is it? There's a cloaked figure who's turned away from us and is looking at these 3 cups that have fallen sort of to the wayside. And you're saying interest, thank you, right? So this is what the cards are showing. Now, let's have a look. I'm going to pick one more card for each. Can we get a little bit more detail? All right. So this is the other card that comes with the friendship. So definitely you have a friendship there. Definitely the friendship, interested in friendship, absolutely. Now, a lot of relationships start off as friendships, don't they? Right? So we're not closing off any doors. All we're doing is looking at what is the current potential that's being created now between you and this other person. And we're really looking at what this other person is feeling towards you. But that's something you can't necessarily control. We're picking that up in your aura. Now, is there possibility for change? Yeah, right? So is this person disappointed potentially in experiences that they've had in the past? Could Kay be looking and saying, well, romance, humbug, I'm not into romance. Maybe not necessarily because of you. It might just be, this has been my experience before and I'm not sure that I want to be involved so much. There's still some emotion left over. You look at this river and I see the emotion in the river. It's still running thick. So I would ask, has Kay had a recent breakup, or was there something in Kay's recent relationship that has embittered them, and kind of made them think, oh, I don't really feel like being in a romantic relationship anymore. And this card that has come up that I do card pairings and card combinations. And these are often a little bit difficult. But if you have a question in mind, when you lay the second card down, excuse me, I have allergies and they've been tripping me up the last month or so. So if you look at this world card, the world card is, this is me and who I am at this moment in time. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be like this forever. So the way that Kay is presenting in terms of being interested in you romantically is at the moment, no, because I'm going through whatever I've been thinking about or being about in an emotional space about me in relationship. But is that going to change? Will it change in the future? Because that world card just indicates, well, it's momentary. It's right here, right now. So here you go. You see this 3 of Pentacles is a card that indicates, well, it's potentially, right, that Kay is moving into an area of manifestation, of I'm going to manifest right? Something for me. Being with other people is going to enrich me, and I'm going to, the question was, would Kay in the future be interested romantically? Well, to me, the 3 is yes, possibly, right? As Kay moves out of this feeling state, we go into this state where Kay starts doing things in groups, with you. And then remember, you've got that strong friendship connection, right? So romance doesn't appear to be knocking at the door right now, but could it happen in the future? You've got the possibility of the 3, right? The manifestation. Ali, I hope that answers your question. Did you want to ask another one after that? We can. We've got time. So, Amy. Oh, wonderful, Lois. Thank you so much. Yeah, that card makes the guy look down. Right. I mean, I always like to add another card just to give myself a little bit more detail. Can we get more detail on that card? And so everything is temporary. Energy changes, doesn't it? People's experiences and the way that they are, decisions are made, in a what does he like about me? Oh, I've been mixing the cards up and they're turning inside out. Hold on. Okay, this one, and then I'll move on to Amy. There we go. And Lois. And thank you so much for your support. 100% of the proceeds go to the Creacon program, Friends of Creacon program, and that money supports Creacon Wellness Retreat Centre in Ireland. Please read up about them. The link is in the description. An amazing place holding great energy for the whole world. It is a beautiful retreat center that's built on a magical land. What does he like about you? All right, here we go. Okay. Well, this is an interesting card, and I've often, here we have material poverty and very high connected spirituality. So I would say what he likes about you is your connection to spirit and the light that you produce and the light that you hold, right? And that lightness of being, in the context of where other people could be down or, feeling sad or feeling sorry for themselves or holding a kind of victim consciousness, woe is me, you keep it light. Right. And so for those of us who read the tarot and who look at the way that you ask a question, if you're looking at a card that in general, there's always good and bad, so to speak, in a card. There's always a positive and a negative, and there's always the light and the dark in each card. And if you're asking to see, well, what would somebody like about me? What are the positive aspects of this card? The positive aspects are all in this stained glass window, and there's a lot of abundance. You got a lot of leaves, and you have the tree of life symbol, and even though there are only 5 coins, you have the tree of life, which has is meant to have the full 10, but all of the parts of it are represented there. And so I would say that he sees your character as being light, abundant, light-filled, abundant, light and easy, connected spiritually, if it is that he's so inclined. Ali, it is also your composure within this world. So, Lauren, are you looking at this one, or are you reading from your own cards? I'd love to know what deck you're using. But if you're seeing it here, absolutely, right? Because this is composure, right? In the context where you could have completely fallen apart and be in rags, you're composed. The way that you look, right? Because this is very beautiful to look at. Thanks, Lauren. I love your perspective. Are you reading an oracle? But isn't it interesting that the card that you bought and this one really, really are reflecting the same thing, looking at this beautiful stained glass window? Your composure, I would even say it's the way you look and the way you present yourself to the world, because this is exquisite. It's really beautiful, so that he sees your beauty, right? and your light, and especially in a friendship where someone's really rushing towards you, wanting to be around you with that Knight of Swords, and is interested in you at the moment as a friend, but still you've got that connection, and that connection comes through your personality, your character, and even the way you look, right? So Lauren's reading from an oracle, and I've recently... Oh, Rebecca, you did? Thank you so much. I'm going to start writing everyone's name down so that I don't miss out. So we had Ali. Thank you, Ali. We have Amy. We have Lois. We have Rebecca. Thank you, Rebecca. I really appreciate your support. That's sweet. I didn't know that. Oh, I'm so happy for you. Well, you'll have to let us know how it goes, Ali. Karina. So, Karina, can you let everybody know about the Creacon Manifestation Program? Can you put that in the link? Did you too? And Karina? Thank you, Karina. Where did you come in the lineup? I don't know. Is it okay if I read for you after Rebecca? Oh, I'm so happy. Ali, thank you so much. Right? We're pulling the absolute best possibility from this unlimited field of potentiality, right? Because that's where we're living in, and some would say that's who we are. That we are unlimited potential, right? And that we have these senses that inner senses that tap into it, and the outer senses to see the results of that tapping in. And if we allow our outer senses, right, our physical 5 senses, to see without judgment and see without attachment, and maintain that connection to the unlimited field, and stay in that consciousness of just possibility, then everything manifests much quicker. I believe, right? I believe that that's the case. I see it in others. Have I seen that happen in myself? Sometimes. And it's always been when I haven't thought about it too hard, right? I haven't gotten in the way with things that I wanted to manifest and things I didn't want to manifest. I'm sure other people have the same experience. Lois Tobin says, pollen very high due to many people being indoors this year. Oh, so true. And washing it away on people and vehicles, etc. That is so true. I didn't think about it. Last year, this time, we were in lockdown. And so pollen really didn't affect my family last year. But this year, we are all affected by it. We've been out like all day last weekend. Thank you, Lois. That's really clever. Okay, so next person, Amy, I hope you're still here. I'm about to answer your question, and I'm so very, very sorry to hear that your relationship... Let me find you, Amy. You're wide away. I missed you too. Where are you? There. I need to find your question. I want to connect to your question. I just had a breakup. What's in store for me? All right, my love. Only good things. I love that mantra, right, by Abraham that said, everything is always working out for me. Everything. All is well in my world. That I know for sure. Let's see what the tarot says. What are you creating right now? Can we tap into you? We're tapping into Amy, and we're having a look at what is in store. Oh, Jennifer, I missed you up the top there. Forgive me. So Jennifer will go after Amy. Oh, I may be mixing you all up. I hope you don't mind if I get it all a little wrong. But Jennifer, thank you so much. So you'll go after Amy, because I just saw your comment there. Forgive me. And I hope you haven't been too worried about that. Oh, good. So here we go. Amy. Gen 2. Yeah. What's in store for you? I'm picking 3 cards for you, right? Because we're looking at manifesting what's in store for you right now, because we're asking the question, what's coming? What's coming? What do I want to pull out of the field of unlimited potential? That's one thing. What are you desiring is one thing. What are you currently creating through your thoughts, words, and actions is what the tarot is going to talk about, because we're pulling cards now and I'm tapping into you as you are asking this question, what's in store for me, right? So you're at a point and saying, well, what's coming? There's another question is, what am I creating? So that is a far more powerful question, point of attraction to come from, right? What am I creating right now? What's in store for me is what I'm creating. What am I creating through my thoughts, words, and actions right now? Let me show you. So this is the 4 of Swords. So some time to rest, some meditation. This wonderful stained glass window that we saw in the 5 of coins, or the 5 of Pentacles, is right up here. We have some nurturing time. We have the Virgin Mary, right, with the child, or the one that is begging to be nurtured, wanting to be nurtured, okay, standing here and being nurtured, being healed, right, by the healing Divine Mother. And we also have, remember, this sense of the ego death. I was in an Ireland workshop with Derek O'Neill, a spiritual teacher, back in 2019, and we were at a very old church, and this was like maybe 15th century or maybe even 12th century church. I mean, it was just the oldest church, and it even had these huge stone. I don't know what you call them, but they're not coffins, but they were like, huge, like inside would have been where the bodies were buried. I suppose stone coffins. I'm not quite sure what they're called. Maybe you could let me know. And our teacher, he laid himself on top of the coffin and said, if you want to experience ego death, lay on top of a coffin, right? So that when we leave our body, the ego disappears. Well, not completely, but of course the potential for the ego to go and there to be no mind, and for one to be in complete communion with the source and God and all that is right there. And so that's what this is. Time for meditation. This is what's in store for you. Time for meditation, laying the thoughts down, putting them on the wall, not even taking them down, not thinking too much. In fact, going into that place of no thought and no mind, which is wonderful. A very rich spiritual place, a very rich nurturing place. Nurturing to the soul, nurturing to your soul. So you've created that. Now, why would I start talking about nurturing? Well, not only is the Divine Mother nurturing you here, I was going to say worshiping you. She is worshiping you. Why isn't she? Why wouldn't she be worshiping you? Because she and you are same. So there's no separation here. And here we have the Queen of Pentacles, who is the most nurturing queen of the deck. And I hope everyone who has their own deck has felt this from the Queen of Pentacles. Look at her. She's very grounded. In fact, she's immersed in nature. And we know that Mother Nature is very nurturing. So she's surrounded by animals. She has the bull on her, I think she's a Taurus. I'd have to double check. There's a goat, there's a bull, there's a rabbit. There's all sorts of life all around her. Beautiful roses, lots of passion, lots of love. Cherubs in her chair, lots of cherubs, lots of fruits you can see in her chair. So she has a lot to offer and a lot of love to offer and a lot of connection to nature. And when you connect with nature, you are flooded with source energy, right? And so that's what you have to look forward to. Meditation, resting from thinking, absolute rest. There's a wonderful, does anyone know the name of this wonderful music video? It's called it's by a Tibetan monk, and the words in it rest your mind in the infinite waves of this wonderful ocean. Let me see if I can find it. I have to find it for us because it's just so beautiful. The pounding waves. Who remembers it? The pounding waves. of samsara. Hold on, samsara. Samsara. I'm going to find this, the name of this video. Rest in Natural Great Peace. By Sogyal Rinpoche. Let me see if I can get it going. You won't hear it because I don't think I'm... Rest in natural great peace. This exhausted mind, beaten helplessly by karma and neurotic thoughts. Like the relentless fury of the pounding waves in the infinite ocean of samsara. Rest in natural great peace. And he repeats this, and it's just so beautiful. I'm going to post it. Here it is. So this is the YouTube video that I just found, which is Sogyal Rinpoche speaking these incredible words. So you're coming into a place of rest and nurturing and an offering, right? And so this is an offer to you from the universe to rest and not think about anything and just come into a place of complete rest and nurturing for yourself. And those two words, rest and nurturing, are going to be your mantra for the next few months, right? Even 3 months, if I can say that. And accept it. Don't get busy. Don't get busy. Don't jump back into your mind, right? This is all about helping you emotionally and helping your whole body come back into balance and well-being. Rest in natural peace. That's the one. Do you love it, Amy? Did you play it? It's really amazing. I hope that feels good and right, Amy. I really feel like you nailed it. What would be better than that for you right now after this breakup? What could possibly bring you back into connection better than meditation and nurturing of self? Do you want to ask how? I mean, we've already know that meditation is one. This wonderful video is another. This wonderful song, right, is another. Right? Putting down all of these wands. You don't need to work hard. You don't need to carry it all. You don't need to struggle. Stop the Struggle, the book written by Derek O'Neill recently, right? And I'm sure there are many, many other books. Any of the great sort of books of wisdom, right, are all about stopping the struggle. And so this is what you're being called to do, right? Put the wands down. There's nothing to do except sit back and connect. Be with family. This is your daughter, right? Be with family. Enjoy that exchange. Be in the moment, right? Being in the moment as the flowers and nature is. And here comes Lauren. Courage and bravery, honesty and communication. Courage and bravery, honesty and communication. Now, you know, if anyone knows Amy, you are all of those things. Really great communicator, very courageous, very brave, very honest, right? So you've nailed that, Lauren. So just put all the ones down, put the hard work down, put the struggle down. You don't need to do anything but rest and give back to yourself. And actually resting and connecting in with spirit is going to give it all back to you. Right? I've been meditating daily for almost a year now, not quite a year. So it's, almost a year. So at the end of the month, it'll be a year, almost every day, like nearly every day. And I discovered that on the days that I don't meditate, and it's only for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, but I do have a routine that kind of goes over an hour with some physical movements as well. But if I don't do it, my body doesn't feel right. My inner being doesn't feel right. I feel more tense. So my very, very short experience with meditating every day has shown me that it invites more calm into my life and relaxes me on kind of every level, you know, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I definitely feel better having done it, knowing that I set it as a goal and I wanted to do it. And if I get it done, then I feel, okay, my goals for the day have been met. And I don't have many of them. Of course, there's the goals to do what the family requires me to do. And sometimes I don't meet those, right? But if I can get at least that one down, then I know that the rest of the day will unfold I'm hoping to be able to do it twice a day. I know a few people are doing it twice a day. Oh, Amy, I love you so much. And I sent, and my heart goes out to you. And I know you're going to feel, I know you're going to feel better. You love it. Thank you so much. Jennifer, did you put your question here? I think you did. You paid for a reading too if there's time. There certainly is. My question is, what's in store this summer? All right, Jen. What an exciting question, right? So summer is summer June, July, August? Let's do that. And for those of you who've done, and I think, Jen, you've done this, right? You had a year ahead reading with me. Gosh, I didn't do anything. Excuse me. You had a year ahead reading with me. I don't get to see all of you. I just look at a picture of myself. So I'm just looking at. So if I look straight into the camera, it's much better. If I look at down here, I'm looking at everything that's wrong. That's so funny. So Jen, what's in store this summer? So Jen had a year ahead reading with me. Did we do it this year or last year? I can't remember, Jen. We did one last year. We did a 12-month ahead. So what we do, and we could do this any time of the year. If it's your birthday at the beginning of the year, great. If it's your birthday in the middle of the year, it doesn't matter. We're doing your birthday year as it begins, right? We could do it any time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do like the next 3 months ahead, meaning June, July, August. I'm going to pick one card for each month, Jen. And we're going to tap into Jennifer Anderson right now. Consciously, right? You set the intention. I set the intention. So, June, strength. You have 2 major arcana cards that have come up. So just to let you know, you're really moving in the major archetype of 1. This is courage and strength, right? And really digging deep into that self-consciousness work where you are looking to, quiet the id, quiet the wild one. So Freud had the id, ego, and superego. And very simply, these terms are the id being the wild animal nature within the human, the ego being the one that presents the human as a presentable figure, i.e. I can tell you who I am. I can tell you I'm a functioning member of society and I know how to do things. I know how to use my sort of frontal lobe and organize my day. And it's very left brain kind of activity, lots of thinking. Superego is the judge. It's the one that, so you've got the ego, which is the constant chatter, and then the superego being the one that's telling the ego what they're doing wrong and right. And, so the superego kind of connects in with that judgment. And, that can make things go awry. But what you're doing here is you're using, let's say, ego and superego to come into self-discipline. And this is what's happening. You're connecting with spirit. And if I was to draw this differently, I would have her standing upright. But we know that she's bending a little bit over simply because she's making some effort, not a huge effort. So you don't have to make a huge effort. This is the message to you, Jen. It's not going to take you very much. You're already in a daily discipline. You're already doing the work. And what you're going to find is that you're going to see results from this, right? So here you have a plush landscape. There's, beautiful green grass. You've got forests here. You can see in the background, there's lush hills. There's the beautiful Arunachala, the big Shiva mountain, the lingam. So your guidance is present, this beautiful divine energy that's surrounding you and nurturing you. You've got a wreath of flowers in your hair. Look at that, beautiful little flowers. So this is a picture of spring, right? An early summer. We've got June. You've got the infinity symbol on your head. So you know that you're working and connecting with the right energies to do this work. So it feels like June is going to be a continuation of, from a spiritual perspective, definitely, that you coming into a deeper discipline within you, right? Which is really quite beautiful. Let's have a look at that. I'm going to pull another card, right? So where you previously would have had an exchange. So this is how, so this card is going to help you in this way. So for anyone who reads the cards, this is a card combination, but when I chose this card, I was going to be, can you give me more information about this? What does this mean? Well, yeah, I know what it means to have an argument. And you know what it means to have an argument. And when you're in an argument, the sort of, you know, the internal dialogue that goes on and on and on is something that needs to be quietened. Otherwise, it can it can wreak havoc in your system. So that's what this work that you're doing is going to achieve, where you're not going to be affected by these arguments. And in fact, you won't even hold on to them for very long. So these exchanges are not going to disturb you, right? And then you've got June, you've got July, even deeper introspection. Wow. Okay. So these two combined, Jen, I mean, you're jumping deep into some, you know, you've got the 8 and the 9. So you're reaping the rewards of your efforts by, you know, seeing how all that spiritual work you've done, seeing how it literally is showing you in the the seeds that you've planted, they are now bearing fruits, and you can see how all the work you've done has helped you in your exchanges with others. And this looks like a pilgrimage, an internal pilgrimage, where you are going to now move forward as the teacher. Look, I've done my work. I've put it into practice, and now I'm going to move forward and show others how to do it too. And so even though the hermit is someone who appears to be on a solo journey, I'm seeing this as someone who moves into their teacherhood, right? So if you're going to start a project, or you're going to create a project where you are going to lead others, holding the light for others, then this is the month you're going to do it. So this is June, July, and August. You're going to be very, very happy in August. So let's have a look at why, right? Why are you so happy in August? August is awesome. 1, 2, 3. Look at that. We got the Knight and the Page of Swords. So I feel like there'll be the beginning of something new in August, because we've got the Page. Remember, we said new beginnings. We also have the Justice card. Now, 3 major arcana have turned up in your 3-card spread. So this is reaping the rewards. So, and also she reminds me of the High Priestess. Doesn't she remind you of the High Priestess? Let's have a look. Oh, what's happening here? Nicole, hello, welcome. There is a list. Maria, Susanna, hi. Oh, Rebecca, I'm so sorry Louili's not feeling so well. You're going to skip your turn? Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope he feels better. And Jennifer says, I bet it's a hot spiritual man. Oh, yeah. Look, in comes the knight on, you know, the knight in shining armor. So it could very well be that that's what happens in August, right? Because this is the time where everything that you've desired and wanted to manifest is coming back. This is the karmic card. Even though it's the number 6, you know, it's a very spiritual number, but we see the balance, right? The balance. And Jennifer says she does look like her. And yes, I'm contemplating birthing something new, just waiting for more clarity. I feel that clarity is going to come in July, really strongly, very strongly. And will you be really happy with those results? Absolutely. And it does feel like your knight in shining armor is coming in August, right? And something changes. So justice, remember, represents what what seeds have you grown? What are the consequences? What do these seeds, what have they grown? What kind of plants have you grown? What have you been watering? Have you been connecting and staying in that place of joy and amazement and excitement and wondering, hey, what's happening? Here comes Lauren. Lauren says, Jen, oracle side, intuition, miracles, divine timing, manifestation. Manifestation, that's what the justice card was seeming like. It's time. It's time that what it is that you've always wanted is manifesting. Okay, and I do see that spreading over both the spiritual, which is what these two are touching, and the physical, what you want in the 3D. What do you want to see in the 3D? It's almost like we do all this work energetically, and then we don't necessarily see it immediately in the physical. And it's going to manifest in the physical in August. All the work that you've done. Isn't that wonderful? I'm so happy with you. I'm so happy for you. I'm also happy with you. I'm happy with you and for you, which is wonderful. So let's pick a card for September, shall we? I know that's months of summer, and there's a little bit of summer left in September. So big change in September. Wow. And that, I feel that connects again to everything that's happening in that August month, where you've got the culmination, you've got the contemplation, right? And a lot of the rewards coming in June and July, and it becoming really clear to you where it is that you're going to be going. And then August is that month that there's an explosion of activity, and the Wheel of Fortune really cranking things. A lot of movement here. A lot of movement in August and September. Woo-hoo! I'm so happy for you. The energy over those 3 months is fantastic. Well done for manifesting that, right? Pulling that through, pulling that down from the infinite potential. 7:13, it can't be. I couldn't have been talking for a whole hour. I'm so sorry. Poor Louie. I'm so sorry you had to go, Rebecca. Thanks for coming. So, Nicole, if you want to pay for a reading, it's $10. 100% of the proceeds will go to Friends of Creacon, which is a retreat center in Ireland, Creacon Wellness Retreat. And in the description, you'll find all the information. You could click on the link and find out all about Creacon Wellness Retreat. Lois is next. Lois, did you have a question, or did you want a general reading? General. Here we go. Lois, pollen very high. So, Lois, let me know. Do you want a general? Yes, you can be added. I did already pay via credit card link here. Thank you, Nicole. Absolutely. So I'll put you in with Rebecca, and then Rebecca and I can catch up, and I can always refund her money. Exciting. And I'm going to do a year ahead reading later this month. Oh, that's super. Thanks, Jennifer. Oh, I'm excited. We do all the numerology. And every year, your birthday year takes you into a new year. So as you turn into, let's say your birthday is the 13th of January, 1962. Well, the 13th of January, 2021 becomes a different number, and you add all those numbers up, and it becomes a number between 1 and 9. And then you know where you are in the process of the 9-year cycle switching over, and the 1 is a beginning, the 9 is an ending, and then everything in between. In the same way that we work with the tarot, you have all the numbers representing an energy and an influence. And in that year that you turn up in, we did this last time, Jen, it is very exciting. Lois, let me know what you want me to, I'm just going to go ahead with a general reading, if that's okay. And Lauren, thank you for pulling cards for everyone. I super appreciate it. Lois, this is a general reading. I'm going to do, what will I do, Lois? I'm going to do something which is interesting. So I've never thought of this before. I'm going to do a constellation. I'm going to do the middle of the Celtic cross, but without the thing that's kind of stopping you. I'm just going to do you, what's on your mind, what's subconscious, what's the past and the future. Does that sound fair? You, mind, unconscious or subconscious, past, and future. Wonderful. So we have you, creative woman, the Empress. Lois, this is you, the Empress, who is in her prime, in the divine feminine. You are drenched. I know that you have identified with the mother, but I don't see the Empress and you at the moment as mother, right? Because I know you have a son, and I know you've had that mother role, and as a nurse that you would have taken on. But this is more about you being in touch with your own creativity and your own connection, right? So that you allow things to flow through you without interfering with them. So the Empress doesn't interfere with anything that she's creating. She just allows it to come through her. And thus she's constantly creating, constantly creating. And there's a flow. You see the flow of water? And she is constantly in the flow. So I feel right now you are constantly in the flow of connecting and allowing. There's a man named Jeff. I'm going to find him. Jeff Hebden, I think his name is. Hebden. I'm going to find him because the reason I'm thinking of him, Hefferton. Oh, no, that's not his name at all. Heffernan, that's not him either. Oops. Now let's see. Here's the Advaita. So Advaita is a Sanskrit name, or Jeff Foster. That's not him either. Maybe it's not Jeff. I'm trying to find this this individual who was a serious sort of, addicted to, I think, alcohol, but then everything else. And he went into AA and got clean, but then went into Course of Miracles. And it was once he was immersed in the Course of Miracles and teaching the Course of Miracles that he had an experience where he lost that sense of me and went into the greater self and realized that there's really nothing here. This idea of me and me taking drugs for me. And Rebecca, thank you. Can you give Lou Willie a big kiss? And can we all send Lou Willie some love and a prima agni or any kind of love and positive healing vibrations right now? I'm just going to send one right now, Rebecca, with me. And please, everybody, join me in sending Lou Willie, Rebecca's dog, some love and healing so that he can feel better, right? He gives so much love to everyone else. If you've seen a picture of this beautiful, beautiful puppy, you would instantly fall in love with him. So, Rebecca, let's do that right now. I'm just going to close my eyes and send him some love. And he's soaking it all up. He's so beautiful. I hope he feels better soon. The reason that I'm bringing him up, Lois, is not because of any other reason other than the flow. He once said that who we are is like the analogy or the metaphor of a hose. So the body is the hose, and the water that flows through is the divine energy that flows through us. And if we can just get out of the way and realize that we're just a hose, right, for this divine to flow through, then more healing could get done, more connecting, more service could be done. And I feel that's what you're being directed to do, that you're already doing, and you're being encouraged to continue to do. And as you see, as the flow is allowed, she's very relaxed. She's not doing anything. As the flow is allowed, then everything comes into existence. This is number 3, the card of manifestation. The Empress is the creative birther. She births the world through her capacity to remain connected and open, right? Everything births through her. So that's you right now. On your mind is thinking about working hard. Gee, hi. Are you saying flowing through a hose, a hole or a hose? A hose, H-O-S-E, a hose. So once I find out who I don't have his name, Paul Hefferton. Might have been a Paul Heffernan. I found it. Here he is. Wow, I'm super. Oh, that's not him at all. Oh my God, his name's not Paul. I'll have to remember for next week. It's a hose. But it was the analogy that I wanted to say, that if we could just be as unattached or inert, and meet with that side of ourselves that is simply in an observership with what flows through and how it all unfolds in front of us, we'd be happier. we'd be like, wow, I created all of this, or this was created through me. Incredible. That's incredible. It's not mine. It is, right? It belongs. So this is on your mind. So this was the card above. And this is like, okay, it feels too hard. I'm constantly struggling. I'm constantly having to bat down these things. So on your mind is like, I'm in action and I'm tired, because here I am. I've come up out of the bed. I've got one sock on, no shoe here, and no sock, but a shoe here. And it just feels like a bit of a struggle, and I have to keep working hard, and I don't want to have to do that. But on the subconscious side, you have the Hanged Man and some wonderful surrender and let go. So I want you to tap into these two cards. Get out of your mind, because your mind is like just telling you lies, right? That's for all of us, not for Lois. This is really for all of us. Our mind always tells us lies. We think we're working too hard, and we may be working too hard. And in fact, if we're identifying with everything that we're making and thinking that we made it, and that all of this stuff needs us to maintain it, then we're going to be working hard unnecessarily. So we got to throw that away. And all you want to do is be in these two cards. Oh, love you, Lauren. Thank you so much for participating and doing readings, and I'll chat with you soon. So this Empress and this Hangman together are all about full let go, full surrender to the stream of consciousness that's flowing through you, to the love that is and who we are, and allow that to manifest everything in your world. You don't need to do not one thing. You don't need to interfere, and you don't need to do anything to allow this to happen. You just need to be the vessel, right? And you've come through a massive change. The last 3 months of your life have been massive, right? This is the past, and this is where you're moving to. You're moving to a whole new beginning. Isn't this wonderful? This energy that you're moving into, Lois, is absolutely brand new. And you'll just basically be doing it like you've always done it, really. It's almost like there's a feeling in this card for me that you're going to be doing and participating in something that you've always done, like you were born to do this. This is your purpose in life, right? It's a page. We talked about pages being new beginnings, but you've done this before, right? And you're going to be great at it. Don't think about it. Don't do this. The 2 8s are telling you, don't go there. Don't go into your mind, and don't work too hard. You don't have to work hard. You don't have to think about anything or worry about anything. Throw them out. Throw all those old thoughts out, and in comes this brand new energy. So I feel these energies are coming in with you now to allow you to build the new. You have a brand new foundation that you've laid down with the Wheel of Fortune, and this brand new energy is coming in with the passion of what you want to do. This is your purpose in life. This could also be a male figure, or also can do general. Oh, so your question wasn't sending. Well, this is, I've just finished doing a general for you. I hope you don't mind. And if there's any trouble with that, you just let me know. But I really did a sort of past, present, future, plus a what's going on. And let's see, I'll go on to Nicole and Karina. But if we still have time after that, if you put your question in now, then let me know, right? And Nicole, please put your question in so that I can start reading for you. But did that make sense? I hope you were able to hear. I know you've got connection that was going on and off. This could also mean a person. So the Knight of Wands could be an actual knight that comes through and is, in your life for a little time for whatever reason. So there might be an action or a something. For you, General Karina, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for supporting. You are supporting yourselves through the Friends of Creacon program. This is all good for everybody. We're paying it forward. I've got the out of focus Doris Day look. Works perfectly for me tonight. As I mentioned, I'm going to be going live on Wednesdays for the next 3 Wednesdays on Facebook. And I'm hoping that you can let your friends know. I'll be doing exactly the same thing, $10 per question. But I'll be sending money to a special place in India, which is serving a population of people who have pretty much been shunned by society. They're gypsies and they're Indian gypsies, and they have no way of making money now with this second wave of COVID, and they're relying entirely upon donations from people like us who can send money for them to have water. They can't make a living as they normally would because there's a massive lockdown, and they really need us to support them. He's sleeping now. Oh, I'm so happy, Rebecca. Thank you so much. So Nicole has asked her question. So that's on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So please join me. Let your friends know. I'll be posting about it probably tomorrow, if not tonight, if I get time. So Nicole, this is for you. I'm wondering what you see in love for me and Jose. Yes. Nicole, Jose. And what do we see in love? Okay. So you are in the best place possible. You are ready for love, right? And you do see and feel a lot of love and sharing and caring with Jose. Now, something's gone on for Jose because he got one of the most challenging cards in the deck. What's going on for Jose? I have to ask you. If you were here in front of me, I'd be like, has something just happened to him? Is he undergoing a massive internal transformation? Because what I see for the both of you is this King of Wands. Whatever's going on for him is affecting what goes on for the both of you, right? So I see you really ready and raring to go. You're in the right space and place, but something's gone on for him. Either some kind of stress or something has happened in his life that has just upended him, right? These figures are kind of upside down. And even though we do see spiritual light and spiritual enlightenment happening, right? Something had to break down of the old to let in the new. But what's happening for him is that he's gone into a place of like, a bit of a shutdown, right? So let's go, let's see, how long will that go on for him? I'm going to do this in weeks. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Oh, he's in his last months of the military. Oh, he's going to be a career change. Yeah, so that's like massive for him. So he's, at the moment, and I tend to pick up the current energies a lot stronger than I do, say, years ahead. And actually, I'd have to pick the cards for the years ahead. I don't get those just up off, as I'm speaking. Sometimes I do. But so right now, this is what he feels like, right? So he's busy in his head doing this. And it's going to be 1, 2, 3. I feel like, let's have a look. I was doing weeks. Should I do months? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think in about a month, he's going to feel so much better. I don't know if that fits with the kind of timing that you know of, but I got in 4 weeks, he's going to be in this place. He'll be ready to kind of start afresh and new. And in terms of you and he, let's have a look. Your relationship or friendship relationship is going to go up into the next level. So this is the traditional marriage card, right? So this is kind of taking it to the next step, to the next level. So this is the card that we would have loved to have seen almost immediately, right? But we had to see where Jose was at. For some reason, the spirit wanted me to see, right, where he was at, how he's feeling, just has to concentrate on doing all of this now. And then you'll be moving into this, which is the Hierophant. And it is the traditional marriage card because, traditionally people used to go to a place of worship, which is what the Hierophant is, the high priest. This is meant to be a church. He's got all the markings of a priest, the scepter with the 3 prongs, the manifestation, the crosses. Obviously this is a Christian church, and you have the 2 monks or the abbots who are looking to learn something from him, and the keys. And, these keys feel like wedding rings or rings, right? So let's have a look. Let me add another card to the Hierophant. Transformation. Holy cow. So death is a vortex. Death is a vortex of transformation. So for me, the Hierophant means you and he are going to, whatever your relationship is like now, it's going to change. And so you're going to go from here you are, and it's going to go zip. The way that you have been will change significantly. And I don't know if you're thinking of like moving in together, but there's the possibility of that, right? So that I don't know if there's something, if that's something you've been talking about, but there's big transformation. What I can't ignore is the fact that these are two major arcana cards. Okay, massive major arcana cards. So with a major arcana, it means that these are not just everyday influences, i.e., is he going to call me or not? Or are we go out on a date? Are we going to eat at this place or that place? You know, everyday activities are reflected in the minor arcana. But you have in your future position for this relationship, you have two major arcana. That means you and he are going to move through a very big sort of vortex of change. And it feels like it's going to deepen. Right, it's going to deepen. Now, whether it goes on to become a marriage or not remains to be seen. Right, what we have here is collaboration. Again, we're back in a church. I don't know if either of you are Christian, but the symbolism of the church and the symbolism of this mason working on the wall, you know, back in the medieval times and certainly even before then in the 1300s, 1400s, the artists would create the paintings on the walls in the churches. And I feel that's what this artist is doing, or certainly a mason working on the wall or carving some kind of sculpture in the wall. And here are the people who are wondering what's going on. But you're in a position to manifest something very brand new here, very brand new. And it's almost like, what kind of advice would Spirit give you moving through? Oh, you're a Christian. So it's interesting that so many of those Christian symbols have come. What would be Spirit's advice to you moving into that period over the next, so the first month, he's just going to finish what he's doing, right, as you already know. And then the following few months, because those major arcana indicate an influence that's going to take a little bit of time, right? There's no quick movement here. And the Death card is a still card. I mean, the horse is moving, but there's a stillness around it, right? And so you, in your reading, you got two of the toughest cards in the whole deck. The Tower card, and maybe let's not throw the Devil in there because all three of them would have turned up. But we only have two. And Death is a vortex of transformation. It means that there is big change coming. We already knew that with the Tower. So what am I doing here, Nicole? I was going to pick one more card and I've lost my train of thought. What would Spirit advise into what would Spirit say? How do you move through this time where you're manifesting deep change, right? Deep change. Or you're either going to move into marriage, move in together, right? Or, you know, if we were to take the Death card as a literal card, like there'd be an ending. Could this relationship end? Well, we don't know, right? But it's looking like the first card we chose was a marriage. The first card we chose was a union and a moving up to a higher level. This creativity, what are you creating? What is being created here? So how would you deal? How are you going to move through this, right? How are you going to move through this period of like that's coming up? All right, that's the one. Party. Party. Keep it light, right? So this is a number 4 card. It's the number 4 in the 1 to 9 or the 1 to 10. So you know that you've just started, you've just created something. Keep it light, keep it airy. Don't go deep into any sort of major issues. Celebrate everything as it happens. And it's almost a little like, you know how we're taught to appreciate, and that appreciation is part of manifestation. And so if you can train yourself to appreciate him more or yourself more or the relationship more, simply because you want to feel good, right? So we say, oh, I appreciate the way you do X, Y, Z, and I appreciate, myself in this relationship because I'm brighter and I love myself in this, So these are the things Wonderful. It's above, but this is great. Oh, Lois, I missed it. So I'll just go back up if I have time after Karina, although we were on right on 1:30. And if anyone has to go, I'm so sorry. I'm going to go a little over time today. So here we have this celebration. So keep it light. Keep celebrating. Go out and have some happy times together, right? And I think that's how you're going to ride this big change. If you're moving in together, right? And that's what it feels like to me. It feels like you're going to move in together. Like the way that you and Jose have been relating up to now is just going to completely change. And it does feel like it's moving ahead in the right direction, and that the death card really indicates massive transformation. And look at this card as the final card. Just celebrate, keep it light, have your friends over, have some barbecues, obviously with all the safety precautions, as we know, for COVID in there. And I wish you the best, Nicole. Thank you so much for paying for a reading. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, I'll be posting when I send the money into Friends of Creacon, so you know that you'll get your energy exchange then, right? And I'll be posting it at the end of the month, probably. So Karina is getting a general reading. Karina, thank you for being here. Thank you for sending in some money. Thank you, Nicole. You have a great night. And best of luck. Let us know how you go. Come back in a month or two, or maybe I'll be on Facebook then. Or you could send me an email on georgiamarantos@gmail.com just to say hi. I'd love to hear from you. So, Karina, I'm going to do 3 cards. 3 for manifestation. 1, 2, 3. These cards are all you, Karina. What can we ask? Ask me a question. So I'm just going to tell you things you already know. Look at you. You know exactly what you want, right? It's enlightenment. I want connection with source consciousness, and I want to move and be in my life in that way and allow the divine to work through me. And this is what you're going to do for the rest of your life. This is you in service to others. Right? In service to others. And you're going to balance out your karma, because karma is grace, right? As our karma comes to meet us, it just comes to be accepted. And, you know, there was a beautiful article that I had read once about karma as grace. And in fact, if you Google karma as grace, someone wrote just so eloquently, like that idea of even if something bad is happening, and I know that you're on this thought vibration, Karina, when something happens, an event, a scary event, or things that kind of we don't quite understand, if we see it as an opportunity for growth, or even as an opportunity to say, yes, thank you. A bit like when Thich Nhat Hanh, I've forgotten his name, terrible, I've pronounced it horribly. There he is. Thich Nhat Hanh. This is the Vietnamese Buddhist who's all about walking lightly on the earth and using Buddhism and mindfulness to bring oneself into a state of being, a vibrational state of being that adds to the calm and beauty of the earth, right? So now I've got to go back to what I was talking about, which is so this is what you have to offer, right? Because you're going to, that's right, karma is grace. So that if once an event comes in or someone comes knocking at the door, then you open it up and you invite them in for tea. And you're going to invite everyone in for tea, even if it looks like, you know, the devil is walking in to have a cup of tea. The devil wants to have a cup of tea with you because the dark comes to the light, right? And so there's this part of you as you're spiritually awakening, that the level of transformation gets bigger. And it's not scary because you are coming into that higher vibration. And that's what's happening here, right? That's your spiritual bank account right there, right? That's being in service and being in love as you're in service. We can all learn from you. And there's that card that Jennifer got for the month of June. So we said here that that's how we That's how we quieten that wild part of ourselves. When our mind has come into alignment with, our purpose in life, and we know that, hang on, I need to direct my mind, right? We're controlling the uncontrollable, the id, the ego, that part of ourselves that pulls us into unconscious action. You're controlling that part of yourself through discipline, through connection, and you're allowing yourself to speak and act vibrationally in the highest way possible. Yes, thank you. We need to follow you, Karina, and please put the link. So I talked about the Creacon manifestation program last time, but I'm going to put it in here. So there are 2 programs with Creacon manifestation program. Oh, it's now looking up Creacon manifestation program. Here it is. So I'm just going to put this link up for anybody who wants to connect with Creacon. And that was a lion, Karina. Yes. And in fact, that card is a Leo. I don't know what star sign you are, but that card is a Leo. And she is subduing the lion, right? So, and not much energy is needed once you're in that vibrational alignment. You don't really need to put that much effort into saying, hey, mind, move over. And hey, ego, move over. I'm in service here. And so if you click on that link, Creacon Wellness Retreat, and that's the Creacon manifestation program, the conscious manifestation program, you will link up, you will receive a package from Creacon that's very high vibrational, that has been blessed, and everything is so wonderfully, a lot of energy and love has gone into placing everything into your package, and I highly, highly recommend it. Right, here it is. So I want to thank everybody. We didn't get to do the nights. We'll just have to do them next week. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please let your friends know and everyone know that I will be going live on Facebook next Wednesday, May 12th at 10 a.m. And I will be doing the same thing, except all proceeds will be going to India, the gypsies in India. And there's a link that I'll be putting up on my Instagram page, my Facebook page, and you'll be able to know that any money that you give to me will go straight to them and who you're going to be helping. So we're all in service. We're all paying it forward. We're all helping each other. We're all walking each other home. And I thank you for being on this path with me. And Rebecca, I will call you and we will have a reading, or you could come back next week and have a reading then. But I'd love to connect with you, and hopefully we're going to have lunch soon. But thank you. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for coming, and thank you for supporting the Friends of Creacon program. Bye.